Hi, okay, so as you can probably tell, we're going to talk about Emma Watson this week. There is a ton of Emma Watson fans out there. I know I'm a huge Emma Watson fan, and she's a pretty amazing woman, and there was a lot of stuff that I did not know until I did this research. Also, quick shout out to the account Harry Potter Stan 2 for making my life abundantly easier by having almost every interview she's ever done on there. I love your account, and I love Harry Potter, so. Okay, so her birth chart. She's an Aries Sun, a Sagittarius Moon, a Virgo Rising, a Taurus Mercury, a Pisces Venus, and an Aquarius Mars. So Emma was born in Paris. Her parents are both lawyers, so we have that in common. And she has a younger brother and some step-siblings because her parents did get divorced when she was pretty young. And here she is with her family. She moved with her mom and brother to Oxfordshire when she was little. And she always wanted to be an actress. She did school plays, she took acting lessons, singing lessons, all of that. And she said that in school she was very much an eager beaver, so pretty much she was just like Hermione. She loved learning, she loved school. And she also seemed to have been a very driven child, very ambitious, very hardworking. And then in 1999, a 9-year-old Emma auditions for Harry Potter. So Harry Potter's casting system, they did do open casting calls, but they also went through the British school system and asked elementary schools to nominate kids, and Emma was one of the ones that was nominated from her school. And the first audition was actually in her school gym with the other people who had been nominated. She said there was about 16 of them, and she said it was just like a drama lesson, just very casual. And she was already a Harry Potter fan. She said that her dad would read her the books before she went to bed or on long car trips, so she had already read all of the books that were out so far. After that initial audition, though, she had multiple other rounds. She said it was like 3 months of just auditioning. And I'm going to show you all their first screen test together.
Never thought to look in here. I checked this out first term. For a bit of light reading.
This is light.
Shut up. If Filch comes round that corner any second now, we are dead meat.
Sorry.
I knew it. Here it is. Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Sorcerer's Stone.
The what?
Oh, honestly, don't you two read?
And she said that she wanted the part so badly and she felt like it was hers. 9-year-old, out here manifesting. But her parents were actually very worried because there was obviously a slim chance that she would get it and they thought that she was going to be so let down. As we know, she did get the role of Hermione, and when they brought her and Rupert in to tell them that they had gotten the part, she said that she was completely stunned, just speechless, didn't even know what to say. And once she got the part, her grandparents suggested that she should keep a diary and chronicle everything that was happening, and she did, and she has kept diarying to this day. Not diarrhea. Writing in a diary. And so she has diaries since the age of 9, full. I would love for her to release those one day. I pray every day that she does. So she actually started filming for Harry Potter in the year 2000 at age 10. And obviously she wasn't in regular school during this. They had tutors for them on set. And they only did schoolwork 3 to 5 hours a day on set. The rest of the time they were acting, working. But they did get as much done as a regular school day, they said, because it was mostly one-on-one and very small groups. So it was easy to get just as much work done. And they also didn't have homework. Sounds pretty nice to me. And initially in interviews, she would say that she wasn't anything like Hermione, but she has later said that she is exactly like Hermione, as I mentioned in the first part. She was just too embarrassed to say it. And this is also when Emma met Tom Felton. Apparently in one of the classes, they asked them to draw God, and he drew a picture of a girl on a skateboard, and she instantly fell in love with him and had a huge crush on him. And she did say that she felt like she could always be vulnerable with him, which is one of the reasons that she liked him. And I'm thinking on a big set, she's only 9, this is her first, or 10, this is her first time acting ever. And he had actually acted before, so it's kind of somebody older and wiser to help you out. And yeah, they got along well too. He was 3 years older, but he did say that he knew about the crush and he was actually protective over her. But regardless of the childhood crushes and such and whatever, they're just being kids. They all took their roles very seriously, and Emma in particular would memorize everybody's lines, and sometimes she'd be mouthing them in scenes, which she actually got in trouble for because obviously you can't keep that in a take. And November 14th, 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is released, or if you're in the UK, Philosopher's Stone, and here she is at the premiere. And yes, I am a huge Harry Potter fan, J.K. Rowling excluded. And she too was a huge Harry Potter fan, so she was just as excited to see the movie as all of us, even though she was in it and she filmed it. But she said she was very self-critical of herself, which I think is pretty normal for an actor. And at this point, she became pretty famous, and it was only going to grow. And she said that the fame was actually very uncomfortable for her when she was young. It took her a long time to get over the insecurity of having everybody's eyes on you. And I mean, at such a young age, all of that pressure and criticism, that's a lot. And I'm guessing at 11, she also wasn't prepared for everybody constantly asking her about what she wanted to do in the future. But at the time, she said that she wasn't sure if she'd be in all the Harry Potter movies, because she wasn't. But she did want to go to college down the line. Exactly 1 year later, November 14th, 2002, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is released. And Emma was 12, and at this point, she was starting to get approached by fans and asked for autographs and pictures and all that, which she said was completely crazy for her. February of 2003, they started filming for Prisoner of Azkaban. And side note, why did they do Dan and Rupert so dirty with this disheveled hair? Like, what is that? They wanted them to look like they just got out of bed? What's going on there? And the other great thing about these films for all three of them was that they got to hang out with all of these amazing British actors. Emma in particular was very inspired by Emma Thompson, looked up to her a lot, as well as Helena Bonham Carter. And June 4th, 2004, The Prisoner of Azkaban is released. And then skipping ahead a year, November 18th, 2005, The Goblet of Fire is released. Emma is 15 at the time. But after this, she wasn't really sure if she was going to continue with Harry Potter. She said that she was just pretty scared and that the fame thing had finally hit home in a big way. And I mean, if she had stopped here, we would have had a totally different Hermione for the other half of the films, and she probably wouldn't have been nearly as famous. So this was kind of a turning point, but I do love, love, love that they have the same actors throughout the whole series. Also, the little ribbon around her head, I thought that that was like a glitch on the picture at first, but that was a fashion statement. And that's a sign of 2005 right there. She did also say that she was feeling very alone at this time. Obviously, fame is a very isolating experience for anybody, but she was also the only major female lead in this movie. I know that there's Luna and Jenny, but really, if you're filming, not everybody is on set every single day. She would only be seeing them when she's filming scenes with them, so I can see how that would be pretty lonely. She did end up continuing, though, and The Order of Phoenix actually took 2 years to film, and she was still pretty young, so we don't really hear much about her in the next couple of years until 2007. But in March of 2007, Emma had a stalking incident. Basically, a stalker followed her into school and actually came up to her and talked to her too. And because of that, she ended up having to get a private bodyguard, which is only going to add to the isolated and weird fame feeling. And then March 18th, 2007, Rupert did an interview and said that him and Dan weren't really close to Emma anymore. He said basically that they were drifting apart, and he also said, Emma doesn't want to do it anymore. She's tired of being known as that girl from Harry Potter. And I feel like she probably wasn't too happy with him actually doing that interview, but it wasn't inaccurate, apparently. And March 19th, 2007, the next day, reports come out that Emma is refusing to sign on for the last 2 movies. Apparently, she really wanted to try new things and was just kind of tired of being the same character for so long. But we do know that she eventually decided to keep going. July 6, 2007, Emma did an interview with Parade, and she talked about Hermione. She said that she loved that Hermione was an example of an intelligent, outspoken girl that didn't care about and wasn't defined by her looks alone. She also said, there are too many stupid girls in the media. Sometimes really smart girls dumb themselves down a bit, and that's bad. She also talked about why she was unsure about continuing Harry Potter, and said that she loves school because it keeps her in touch with reality, and also said that she has enough money to never have to work again, but she would never want that. Learning keeps her motivated. Learning also keeps me motivated, and that's why I do these series every week. July 11th, 2007, Order of the Phoenix is released, and then in August 2007, we get the first reports that Emma is dating this man named Tom Ducker. Apparently they had been dating since 2006, though. He was a rugby player at the time, but they're like 17, so who knows what he does now. Anyways, they were spotted in the French Riviera hanging out, and people immediately thought they were dating, of course, even though his parents said that nothing was going on between them. It seemed like there might have been. October of 2007, though, some Emma Watson fan pages and blogs, literally like blogspot.com, claimed that they had broken up. And they did. Her publicist said that they just drifted apart as teenagers do. But there were other rumors. So the other rumors were that he was messaging other girls behind Emma's back. Why? Because she's amazing and successful and confident? Probably, because, you know, teenagers are insecure. But anyways, she still deserves better than that. December 17th, 2007, Emma did an interview and talked about all of the fame. Basically, there's always photographers around her, which we could have guessed, and fans, which we could have guessed, and that she has never really been a teenager because she's been Hermione for such a long time. Which, yeah, she's been playing a character for most of her life now. And she did say that she felt very lucky to have the role. She was so grateful. But she also said that when she got it, her mom told her it was very important to keep the friends I'd made already, because at least you know those people are genuine and like you for you. December 26, 2007, Emma is in the movie Ballet Shoes. She plays Pauline Fossil. It was a made-for-TV movie about girls growing up, basically. And then February 13th, 2008, Emma is seen with Johnny Burrell. He's the lead of the band Razorlight, and he also dated Kirsten Dunst. But being that he dated Kirsten Dunst, he was 27 and she was 17, so yeah, no. Also substances. And her parents were livid for obvious reasons, and apparently banned her from seeing him. That was the report. She said, though, on her personal blog, yes, celebrities used to have personal blogs before social media, so weird, that they were just friends. Still weird for a 27-year-old to want to be friends with a 17-year-old, though. In early 2008, we find out that Emma is actually dating Jay Barrymore. I can't pinpoint exactly when they started dating, but it was definitely around this time. Supposedly, they met at an awards ceremony. And she was 17 still, about to turn 18, and he was 23, 24. He's a financier. If anybody would like to explain what the hell that means to me, I would love that, because I see that title all the time, and I have little to no idea of what it means. Supposedly her parents were not big fans of him because of the age gap though, which is understandable. And people also called him a Prince William lookalike a lot, which is funny because Emma had a crush on Prince William when she was a kid. In April of 2008, reports came out that Emma was kind of annoyed at her contracts because she couldn't go to this rave party. Apparently there was a good behavior clause, so raves don't count in that, I suppose, at least in the Harry Potter world. Her boyfriend, Jay Barrymore, was also attending this rave, so people were saying, oh, she's bitter that she can't go with him, he might talk to other girls, you know, just embellishing this story a little bit for the tabloids. But, I mean, I would be annoyed too if I couldn't go to a rave, if I was ever invited to one, or if I liked them. But, you know, whatever I did like, if I couldn't do that, I'd be annoyed. In July of 2008, Emma starts studying Shakespeare at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. She had finally finished high school, and this was her next step because she was going to do a gap year before going to college in the US. And she met this guy there, Roberto Agniera, and it was pretty unclear whether they were friends or maybe a little bit more. Very unclear. July 28th, 2008, Emma went to the Cartier Polo event with Roberto. They were dancing together and people figured that something was going on. But she was still dating Jay Barrymore as far as people knew, so he was supposedly on vacation at the time. It was very confusing. She was also seen talking to other guys at the event though, namely Francis Boole, who she apparently gave her phone number to. He was 19 at the time and the heir to a diamond mining fortune. He was also on Made in Chelsea later on. But then August 7th, 2008, Emma was seen leaving a bar with Roberto. And they weren't being coupley at all. As you can tell, he is quite far behind her. You can barely even see him in the shot. But that made people think that they were just being secretive about their love. And he was also supposedly holding her bags for her, because these couldn't be his own bags. I don't know how they knew that they were hers. But at this time, there was also rumors that she was casually dating Francis Boole, and he actually confirmed those later on. We'll get to that in like 2011. So it seems like Roberto was really just a friend. That's my guess, at least. August 14th, 2008, we find out that Emma got all A's on her A-levels, and those are subject tests in England as far as I can understand. I'm going based on only knowledge from the in-betweeners, so in other words, no knowledge at all. So if you want to explain it in the comments, please feel free. But she got A's in English Lit, Geography, and Art. So October 8th, 2008, Emma is spotted with Jay Barrymore again, so it seems like they are dating again or the whole time. Very confusing. I'm guessing they weren't dating the whole time. Seems like they took a break. December 19, 2008, The Tale of Despereaux was released, and Emma played Princess P. This was her first shot at voice acting. And in February of 2009, Emma was filming for the last 2 Harry Potter films. She's 19 at this point, or almost 19, and she was really grinding, like getting up early, getting as much work in as she could because she had plans to go to America for college in the fall, and she didn't want to have to be going back and forth trying to keep filming. July 10th, 2009, reports come out that Emma and Jay Barrymore are moving in together. It doesn't seem like that was actually accurate though, more like she bought a townhouse and then he got to move some of his stuff in, just kind of see how it goes type of deal. And people were confused by her buying this townhouse because she was supposedly about to go to college in America, so why would she buy a house in England? But she just wanted to be close to her family and friends. I mean, she's from there, so it makes sense. If you have money and you can buy a second house, do it. July 15th, 2009, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is released. And she said that this one was particularly fun because Hermione's changing, the love story's starting to come out, the teen angst. This is my favorite Harry Potter movie, by the way. And in August of 2009, we find out that Emma is starting college at Brown University. She studied English literature, but she also had said that she wanted to work on her painting, which is a huge passion of hers. And she actually roomed with a girl named Sophie Sumner. She was on Britain's Next Top Model, and they ended up becoming really, really great friends. Obviously, she was still filming for stuff, not just Harry Potter, but other things. So she did have to take time off here and there to film, and it wasn't, of course, the typical college experience, because typically you don't find pictures of yourself at freshman orientation on Just Jared, but she did say that people were so nice to her and seemed to really want her to have a very normal college experience as much as she could, which is very nice because normally you hear about celebrities going to college and people picking on them or making funny comments all the time, you know. And she did say that there was rumors at one point that she was bullied, but she was not, she said. And at this point, she also considered quitting acting again. She said, you know, basically this was a point where she could have just done the Harry Potter movies and then exited the acting world. She could have been a relatively normal person again, but she ended up deciding to keep acting. And September 7th, 2009, Jay Barrymore actually went and visited her at Brown. I think this was during her freshman orientation, actually. And also in September of 2009, Emma designed a clothing line with the brand The People Tree. They are an ethical brand, fair trade, organic, all of that. And she had said previously that she wouldn't do anything, clothing, perfume, any of that kind of consumer goods, unless it was for a good cause and ethical. She said she liked the idea of using fashion as a tool to alleviate poverty. I think young people like me are becoming increasingly aware of humanitarian and environmental issues surrounding fast fashion and want to make good choices, but there aren't many options out there. And all of the items were made by fair trade groups in Bangladesh, Nepal, and India. And Sophie Sumner, her roommate, was the model for them all. She is. November 26, 2009, we spot Emma at a hockey game with this guy named Raphael Sebrian. He's a drummer in a rock band called Monomes. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And he also went to Brown. They looked pretty close though, so people were kind of starting to wonder if her and Jay Barrymore had maybe broken up. Was this her new man? We don't know. January of 2010, Emma models for Burberry. And before anybody says that it's Burberry, it's not. It's Burberry. I look up the pronunciations now because I've gotten things wrong in the past, so I know that I'm right this time. Anyways, her little brother also did this campaign, and George Craig, who is in the band One Night Only. March 15th, 2010, rumors come out that Jay and Emma have broken up. The long distance was the reasoning, which actually makes sense versus just busy schedules. But the tabloids were also saying that her and Raphael Sebrian were virtually inseparable. But then in May of 2010, Emma confirms that she is not dating Raphael Sebrian. Apparently, he was just a friend that also went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts with her, and he also went to Brown, so he was just being a friend. And really, we only had that one picture to go off of, but we took that and we ran with it, like usual. June 10th, 2010 though, Emma is spotted with George Craig from the Burberry ad. He was 19 at the time, and she's 20 by then. And he had tweeted out, "Going to the theater tonight with a wonderful lady." And wouldn't you know it, that lady is Emma. And I would agree, she's wonderful. And then June 25th, they are seen at the Glastonbury Music Festival together. So the picture is now becoming clearer. And then the next day, One Night Only, his band's music video for Say You Don't Want It comes out. And wouldn't you know it, Emma is playing George's love interest. It could have been just an innocent job. Maybe that's why we saw them hanging out together. But people felt that there was some very real chemistry going on there. And then the next day, Emma confirms that she actually is dating George Craig. And I mean, at this point, it could have just been a PR relationship, but I choose to believe that it was more than that. And she said that she did indeed meet him at that Burberry shoot, and that she's really into his music, and she really wanted help with the video, which is sweet. But then July 16th, 2010, George said that him and Emma were just good friends. So that's very confusing for all of us. So August 5th, 2010, Emma decides to shock the world and get a pixie cut. She posted on Facebook and said, "Dear all, cut my hair off a few days ago. Feels incredible. I love it. I've wanted to do this for years and years. It's the most liberating thing ever. Hope you like." This was like the haircut after a huge breakup, except The breakup was with a series that she had been doing since she was 9 years old. So yeah, understandable that she'd want to switch it up. And apparently boys didn't really like it, but she didn't care. And she said that she felt the most confident ever and the most like herself with that pixie cut, and she would have kept it if it weren't for acting, because apparently it's kind of hard to get parts with the pixie cut. August 26, 2010, thankfully, George fills us in a little bit because we left kind of on a cliffhanger on that last one. We were very confused. What is their relationship? He said, "We really fancy each other, but are just good friends. I'm doing my thing and she's doing hers. Maybe if the situation changed, we might be together." And on Emma's side, she had inside sources saying that because she was going back to Brown at the end of the summer, it really wasn't going to work. So really, this was just kind of a little summer fling. November 19th, 2010, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the first part, is released. And in this part, she kisses Harry in that Horcrux scene. And I think that this was her first on-screen kiss, but she handled it professionally. This movie also has her being tortured with Bellatrix, and she said that this scene was incredibly difficult to film, and she found herself just crying continuously afterwards. And they actually at one point had to cut, even though she wanted to keep going with the scene because they were genuinely concerned for her. And they also ended up having to cut parts out of it just so that they wouldn't get an R rating on the film. And Helena Bonham Carter also would like come up to her and make sure everything was okay between them afterwards, because it was very intense. June 17th, 2011, Emma is seen out on a run with Johnny Simmons. He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower with her, which is not out yet, but well, at this point in the story, it's out currently in 2022. But we did know that they were filming it, and he also was in The To-Do List, which is one of my favorite movies. Anyways, she was 21 and he was 24 at the time, but her publicist said that they were friends or work buddies basically and nothing more. July 15th, 2011, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is released. And I still can't believe that we waited an entire year for the second half of a movie to come out. That is crazy. And we were all still fiending for it a year later. And this is the part where her and Rupert Grint had to kiss, and she said that yes, it was awkward, but she was determined to get it done quickly, so she figured that if she went in passionately from the very beginning, then they wouldn't have to do as many takes, which is so smart, but apparently Rupert was very caught off guard by that. So she is officially done with the Harry Potter movies. And Emma has said that around this time, when she'd be going to all these events for the movies and all of this stuff, she really just didn't feel like herself. And she said, "I had on so much makeup and these big fluffy full-on dresses. And look at myself in the mirror and say, who is this? I didn't connect with the person who was looking back at me, and that was a very unsettling feeling." Remember when her publicist said that her and Johnny Simmons were just work buddies? Ah, gotcha. August 5th, they started kissing. He was dropping her off somewhere. That's not work buddies. And August 7th, 2011 was the Teen Choice Awards. She didn't go, I don't think, but she did win the Choice Movie Actress for Fantasy and the Choice Summer Movie Female Awards. And on top of that, her and Daniel Radcliffe won the Choice Movie Lip Lock for the best on-screen kiss. So I guess we know where the audience fell on the Ron versus Harry scale of who she should have ended up with. Although I disagree, I'm a big Hermione fan. So feel free to argue with me in the comments, but I stand by it. And then August 25th, 2011, we find out through the tabloids that Emma and Johnny are moving in to her dad's place together temporarily. I really think that that was highly exaggerated. I think that they were just visiting London for a while and staying with her dad. It doesn't seem like they were actually moving in with him. But you know, either way, kind of a big step to vacation with somebody and fly all the way across the Atlantic with them. I mean, probably not if you're a celebrity, but for me, that would be a big step. In October of 2011, Emma went to Oxford to study abroad for a year. Although, I guess in this case, studying abroad is actually studying at home, because she's from there. Sorry, that was a pretty lame joke, but... October 11th, 2011, Francis Wool does an interview and they ask him about Emma. He said that they had a bit of a thing, but he chose not to pursue it any longer. And his reasoning was that, "I didn't want to be the boyfriend of some child actress." And basically he wanted to be known for his own stuff. But also, like, you don't have to say it like that. She's not just some child actress. She's Emma Watson. And then November 7th, 2011, rumor has it that Johnny and Emma are broken up. Supposedly she wanted him to come with her to England while she was studying at Oxford, but he said no. And after that, as you can imagine, sources were saying that it was awkward and complicated because they still had this movie coming out together, but it seems like they did break up. November 23rd, 2011, My Week with Marilyn is released, and Emma played Lucy. And then fast forward, April 15th, 2012, Emma is seen kissing Will Adamowicz. He was also studying at Oxford with her, and apparently they had been dating since the end of 2011, but this is the first time that we're seeing them publicly. And we continued to see them out together in various locations for a while. September 21st, 2012, The Perks of Being a Wallflower is released, and Emma played Sam. And I was so obsessed with this book and this movie. That should tell you something about my youth. She also said that a ton of her friends at Brown were also obsessed with the book. So, does that make me as good as Ivy League educated? I don't know, you tell me. And this was one of her favorite movies to film, she has said, and also the film that made her sure that she wanted to do acting, because she started filming it pretty shortly after Harry Potter, and at that point she didn't know if she liked acting or if she liked just doing Harry Potter. So this is what confirmed it for her. And then April 14th, 2013, at the MTV Awards, Emma wins the MTV Trailblazer Award, which is for women in the industry who have kind of done something different or unique with their careers, forged their own path, and really set an example for others. June 3rd, 2013, This Is the End is released. She plays herself. It's a movie about celebrities in the apocalypse. But anyways, she had agreed to do a scene, and after she had already agreed to it, Seth Rogen changed it and had made it a lot more risque, and she was not down with that. And the rumor was that she stormed out, and Seth did confirm that in an interview, but later corrected it because that makes it sound like she did something wrong when really they changed the script without her knowledge. So she had every right to storm out, but apparently she didn't really storm out. She just kind of left. Anyways, he said that they talked about it later that night, and they both decided that she would not do the scene because she wasn't comfortable doing it. And the next day she came to say goodbye. And I don't know if that means that she had no more scenes to do besides that one, or that she had other scenes, but she decided she wouldn't be participating anymore at that point. But either way, fully valid for those. And honestly, go Emma. Show us how to set those boundaries. You're the best. Also, by the way, I watched the scene that she did for the movie, and it aged very poorly, considering the allegations against James Franco. June 21st, 2013, The Bling Ring is released, and Emma played Nikki Moore, who is based on Alexis Nyers. And yes, I know I have to do a series on The Bling Ring, and I absolutely will. Anyways, Emma said that the character is everything that I feel strongly against. She's superficial, materialistic, vain, and amoral. She's all of these things, and I realized I hate her. How do you play someone you hate? But she did say basically it really grew her as an actress to play somebody that she did not agree with. Alexis Nyers, though, not too happy with that statement, especially since she had recently come out saying that she had suffered some trauma in her childhood and that she was on the H at the time that these things were happening. She was not pleased with Emma's thoughts on her. And then July 15th, 2013, it seems like Emma and Will are actually very serious now based on the reports that we're hearing. And obviously they've been dating a couple of years now, so that makes sense. But also sources were saying that she was dropping a lot of marriage hints. August 11th, 2013 was the Teen Choice Awards, and Emma won the Choice Movie Actress for a Drama for Perks of Being a Wallflower, I believe. But January 6th, 2014, we haven't seen Will and Emma together in a while. This is not a recent picture of them, and there's rumors that start that they broke up. And sure enough, her publicist confirmed that they broke up that summer. So it'd been a while. They started quiet and they ended quiet. Gotta respect it. January 8th, 2014 was the People's Choice Awards, and Emma won the Favorite Drama Movie Actress for Perks of Being a Wallflower. January 12th, 2014, we see Emma vacationing with Matt Janney, who was a rugby player. She was 23 and he was 21, and they were very clearly dating, so. March 28th, 2014, Noah is released. Emma plays Ela. And they filmed in Iceland for this partly, which is interesting. Also, her character was pregnant in this movie, and she said that she watched multiple natural births on YouTube to prepare. And she was actually going to sit in on a natural birth to prepare for the role. Like an actual natural birth. Like you are giving birth, pushing a human out of your body, and you look to your right, and Emma Watson is sitting there and she's taking notes. That's commitment. Anyways, April 2014, Emma does an interview with Elle, and she tells us that she doesn't date celebrities. And I think that makes sense because she wasn't even sure that she wanted to be a celebrity herself for the longest time, and dating somebody who's not a celebrity just means less publicity. However, she has said on another occasion that she's always wondering why boys aren't reaching out to her, responding to her, whatever, and her friends usually say, well, they're probably intimidated, which I think is probably accurate, especially if they're regular guys, not also celebrities. Basically, it's pretty hard to find a boyfriend if you're wealthy and incredibly successful and beautiful, all on your own and you know it and you're confident, which is why I think most celebrities have to date other people who are celebrities and are also wealthy and beautiful and confident, because they won't be intimidated or insecure. But she likes to date the non-famous boys. She also did say, though, that she didn't think it's fair that all of a sudden intimate details of their personal life are public as a direct result of me. Which would make you think that she'd date only famous people then, because they've already agreed to have their lives public. But I'm sure if you're going to date Emma Watson, one, you know that she's famous and you're going to end up in tabloids, but she probably also has a conversation with you like, hey, if we ever go out in public together, there's 100% going to be a picture of it. And then May 2014, Emma graduates from Brown. She graduated in 5 years because she did take 2 entire semesters off because she was filming stuff. And then in July of 2014, Emma is named a UN Goodwill Ambassador. And in September 20th, 2014, she uses that platform to launch He for She with the UN. And this was a campaign for gender equality aimed at boys and men specifically, and at getting as many men and boys as possible to be advocates for gender equality and to recognize that feminism isn't just for women. And in this speech, she talked about toxic masculinity and how feminism helps to dismantle that. And also she talked about the need to realize that feminism is not a bad word. It really just means equality, that you want equality. Nothing wrong with that. December 12th of 2014, we find out that Emma and Matt Janney have broken up. And as we all can probably guess, it was because of their busy schedules. Which, once again, I know that some of them are from busy schedules, and it's probably a contributing factor in all of their lives because they're celebrities, but it can't be the only thing, and they always say that. And in this case, I don't think it was, because later on she referred to the breakup as horrendous. She also said that right before they broke up, she had actually gone on a retreat in Canada for about a week where you are silent the entire time because she wanted to get to know herself better, which I'm sure is much easier if you're only talking to yourself in your head for an entire week. I could never do that. I literally made this TikTok account so that when my friends got tired of me talking, I could just talk more. So yeah, that's a no-go for me. April 16th of 2015, Emma was named one of Time 100's most influential people. And September 13th, 2015, she had another movie come out. This one is called Colonia. It's based on the German cult Colonia Dignidad that grew in Chile during the 1973 Chilean coup. And during this time, she gave an interview where she said that she doesn't really like to be called a celebrity because she's very focused on the craft and not on fame. So basically, she feels like celebrity is a term that's kind of for the frivolous, being famous for being famous kind of people, and not on being famous based on your actual efforts in acting. October 6, 2015, Emma is seen with Roberto Aguirre, and he actually had worked in special effects on Goblet of Fire, which is where they met. And apparently they never lost touch, they had remained friends, but then people saw this one picture and decided that they were probably dating. I don't think they were, though. I'm telling y'all because people thought it, but I just don't think they were. October 9th, 2015, Regression is released. This was a psych thriller movie. It's based around a satanic cult, so pretty scary. And David Thewlis, who played Lupin in the Harry Potter movies, was also in this movie, so they got to work together again, except now she's a full-grown adult, which is gotta be pretty weird for him, honestly. October 2015, we see Emma going to see Hamilton with this man, Mac Knight. And now this one might actually be a boyfriend. She was 25 at the time, and he was 35. He works in tech, and basically after this, they were seen going on vacation together, doing a lot of different things, so they definitely were dating. And in 2016, Emma started the Our Shared Shelf book club, which is books by women and about women, and it's on Goodreads if you want to check it out. So February 28th of 2017, Emma does a spread with Vanity Fair, and she talks in her interview with them about her relationship with fame. First of all, she said that she likes to keep her relationships private and out of the press as much as possible because it becomes tied up into your film promotion and becomes part of the performance and the circus. And basically, she doesn't want any significant other to feel like their relationship is for PR, which is very sweet and down to earth, and God, I love her. She also said that she doesn't take pictures with fans anymore because it's just so easy to have your location immediately disclosed when you do that, except for children. But the best part is that she's not one of those celebrities where you would walk up and ask for an autograph or a photo and they ignore you or just say no or walk away from you, which they're all valid in doing that if they want to. You're entitled to your bad days and to not want to constantly be publicized. But she said that she will tell them, I will sit down with you, I will give you an autograph, I'll answer all of your questions, like I'll chat with you for a few minutes. How sweet. And I think it's always a really hard line to walk when you're a celebrity and people are asking you for photos, because you don't always want to be taking photos, but at the same time, you don't want to just be flat out rude to them, because that can really upset people if they're meeting their idol, if they're meeting somebody that they look up to so much. But not all of them are. Some people just go up to celebrities to take photos with them just for a photo with the celebrity. They don't even care who they are. But I feel like she is walking that line very well by giving people who want a photo with her a very meaningful experience instead. She also talked about how she likes to give herself breaks, not overload herself with work, and put herself first always, which probably advice that I should take myself, but I'm an earth sign, so I won't be doing that. But after the Vanity Fair issue was released, people had a lot of issues with it. Specifically this photo where she's wearing this sheer shawl and it's kind of revealing. And people were saying that it was hypocritical of her to wear something revealing because she considers herself a feminist. And oh yes, she did respond to it. She said, "It just always reveals to me how many misconceptions and what a misunderstanding there is about what feminism is. Feminism is about giving women choice. Feminism is not a stick with which to beat other women with. It's about freedom, it's about liberation, it's about equality. I really don't know what my boobs have to do with it." Hell yeah, Emma. Tell it like it is! Sorry, I kind of got aggressive there, but I'm also not that sorry, because that statement really gave me life, re-energized me. Anyways, March 17th, 2017, Beauty and the Beast is released, and obviously she is Belle. And this was a pretty big role for her, definitely one of her biggest besides Harry Potter. They also decided to make this one a more modern, more feminist, more Emma version of Belle, and they said that in the original film, Belle is someone who loves reading, and in this film, she's equally concerned with teaching other girls how to read. Mwah. And yes, we are joined with Wiley now. Emma was also super adamant on the set of Beauty and the Beast that Belle be able to wear realistic, comfortable, practical shoes instead of like sky-high heels that a princess would wear normally, because Belle is so anti-materialism, so doesn't care about beauty standards or fashion. It just didn't make sense for the character to wear those heels. And also, I mean, bonus, she gets to be comfortable. April 28th, 2017, The Circle is released. It's kind of a thriller. I watched the trailer. It's like about technology and social media, basically. May 7th, 2017 is the MTV Movie Awards, and she won Best Performance in a Movie for Beauty and the Beast. August 13th, 2017 was the Teen Choice Awards, and Emma won Choice Movie Actress Fantasy for Beauty and the Beast, Choice Drama Movie Actress for The Circle, and then she and Dan Stevens also won Choice Movie Ship and Choice Lip Lock for Beauty and the Beast. And then November 24th, 2017, we get word that Emma and Mac Knight are over. We hadn't seen them out together since May, so we kind of could have clued in on that, but you know, she likes to be private, so you never know. In January of 2018, Emma released a letter to her book club talking about the importance of inclusivity in feminism. Basically, she said that being called a white feminist initially made her feel defensive, made her question herself, but then she realized it would have been more useful to spend the time asking myself questions like, what are the ways I have benefited from being white? In what ways do I support and uphold a system that is structurally racist? How do my race, class, and gender affect my perspective? And there is a huge issue in feminism with excluding people who are not white, heterosexual, cisgendered, able-bodied, and basically just sweeping their issues under the rug, not coming to their aid, and not really discussing the nuances of feminism throughout race, sexuality, gender, class, everything. And obviously it's amazing to know that Emma is working on holding herself accountable, that she is working on changing her ways of thinking actively, but it's also amazing to see her setting that example for other white feminists to take some self-inventory and confront our privilege and our stances. And then at the beginning of February, we get this blurry little picture of Emma and Cord Overstreet, we think, hanging out. And everybody assumes they're dating. By the way, Cord Overstreet is Sam in Glee, if you were unaware. And this should make it clear, this picture of him. Anyways, March 19th, 2018, we do find out that they are indeed dating. She was 27 and he was 29, and they actually had been dating for a bit already, but as is customary with celebrities, and definitely with Emma, they were keeping it quiet for a while, which is why they never responded to the picture of them that came out in February. So obviously we were a little bit shocked by Emma starting to date Cord Overstreet, because she previously had said that she doesn't date other famous people, which maybe she just doesn't consider him famous. No, I'm just teasing. I know he's famous, okay? But he's obviously the exception. On Cord's part, though, people were saying that this was not his usual type and that this was a huge positive change for him. So obviously I had to look up who he's dated in the past so we can figure out who his usual type is. And he has dated or been rumored to be dating Lily Collins, Elsa Hosk, Ashley Benson, Emma Roberts, and a few other girls. And I don't know what the similarity is between all of these girls. You tell me, but seems like kind of a diss on them to say that Emma is a positive change. But by May 29th, 2018, Emma and Cord have broken up. And the report said that they were never that serious and never going to be a long-term thing. But in June, they're kissing again. So clearly they're back together. Except then in October, we spot Emma with Brendan Wallace in Mexico. He's a tech CEO, and at the time she was 28 and he was 35. Most importantly though, she's clearly not dating Cord anymore. And then November 8th, 2018, Emma posts on Twitter congratulating Tom Felton on his new TV series. She posted a picture of them at the beach together. I know that we all remember when we first saw this photo. If you like Harry Potter or Emma Watson at all, we all remember this. I think all of us do, regardless of whether you liked it or not. And she also posted a video of them on a skateboard together.
Easy with the wobbling. Keep your feet still.
They are!
You're not. You're dancing around on the board like a clown. Hang on tight.
And this definitely sparked rumors that they were together, or at least that we all wanted them to be together, but alas, it never happened. In August of 2019, Emma collaborated with Time's Up UK to start a free sexual harassment legal advice helpline, and you can call into this hotline and figure out what your rights are, how you can assert them, and the choices you have if you've ever experienced harassment. October 25th, 2019, we see Emma kissing a new man. And this was Leo Robinson. He's a businessman, but we did not know that yet. Anyway, supposedly they had been dating a couple months already when this photo came out. And then in December, Emma does an interview with Vogue and she says she's single. So we're a little confused, but like, single's a loose term. And they could have done this interview a few months earlier, we don't know. In December, people were also a little bit confused by Emma because she wasn't doing the press circuit with all the other actresses from Little Women. There were rumors that maybe she didn't like the end product of the movie, or maybe that she had beef with any of the other actresses, but none of that was ever confirmed. She did post about it a lot though, and people did point out that one, she has a smaller role in the movie, but two, her presence alone in the movie is enough publicity. December 25th, 2019, Little Women is released, and she plays Meg March, and honestly, I love this movie. I love a good period piece. I love the way that they chose to end it, and frankly, this movie is just full of beautiful people, and I just love watching all the beautiful people interact. I don't know if that's creepy to say, but I feel it. April 27th, 2020, Daily Mail figures out that the man that she was seen kissing earlier was Leo Robinson. And he promptly deletes all of his social media, so he's definitely good for Emma in that way because she does like her privacy. But supposedly at this point, they were also very serious. They had met each other's parents and everything. In June of 2020, Emma did get some backlash after she posted for Blackout Tuesday, and the photo had a white border around it to fit with the rest of her Instagram, which that obviously makes it look like it's just part of her aesthetic, which it shouldn't be, and people called her out for performative activism. The good thing is she did respond with accountability and with continued efforts to provide anti-racist resources. And I do think it's a very thin line for people with big followings between using their influence, their skills, their platform to share resources and show support for a movement, and performative activism and just trying to keep their success, essentially. Also in June of 2020, Emma made a statement regarding J.K. Rowling's anti-trans remarks and her anti-trans essay. She said, "Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are." And I couldn't have said it better. In June of 2020, Emma also became the chair of the Sustainability Committee for Caring. They own a bunch of different designer brands: Balenciaga, Bodega, Saint Laurent, Gucci, Balenciaga, oh, did I say that? Alexander McQueen, a ton of them. So once again, she is doing fashion, but specifically sustainability. In February of 2021, an article came out claiming that Emma was retiring. And this was because her agent had said that she was going dormant, but she did clarify that she meant social media, not her actual career. In May 17th of 2021, engagement rumors started spreading about her and Leo Robinson, but Emma tweeted to tell us that that was not the case. She said, "If I have news, I promise I'll share it with you." And this was also aimed at the retirement rumors as well, because she hadn't said anything about that because she wasn't retiring. I mean, you would think she would tell us. I do think this was probably a good move though, just because she is so private, to give fans reassurance, because speculation can just run wild, especially when you're not responding to much. But even if her and Leo are not engaged, in June 2021, sources said that they were happier than ever, more serious than ever. they're doing well. In October of 2021, there were rumors that her and Leo had broken up because Dumois said so. And if y'all didn't know, Dumois is an Instagram account that basically does blind items. So fun. Although my heart belongs to Inti Lawyer on this app and on crazydaysandnights.net. I love him. Anyways, I don't know if we can necessarily believe that, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Although, Inti Lawyer, if you want to comment and weigh in, I would die. And then January 1st, 2022 was the Harry Potter reunion special. And we all know that I watched it. Of course I did. I obviously did. I love Harry Potter. And of course they all said that they will always be close, that they will always love each other. It's a very special bond. And they also did talk about Emma and Tom's relationship, which I think was more than anybody expected.
Hair and makeup chair, and someone said something along the lines of, yeah, she had a crush on you.
I used to come in every day and look for his number on the call sheet. It was number 7. And if his number was on the call sheet, it was an extra exciting day. He was 3 years above me. And so for him, he was like, you're like my little sister.
I became very protective over her. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for her, and that continues.
It continues to the day. Anyways, that is the end of the Emma Watson series. I hope that y'all loved it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment any additions you might have or any thoughts or opinions. I'd love to hear them, as well as any series suggestions or new video suggestions in general. And if you want to see more of me and more of my series, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week with another one.